Lesson 3. Adding tones. Once again, basic understanding of tiếng Việt is highly useful but not necessary. I assume you know your consonants, phụ âm, and vowels, nguyên âm. Please watch lesson 1 and 2 if you don't. In tiếng Việt, we use one of these 5 dấu to add a tone. The word dấu doesn't actually mean tone, it means a mark. To đánh dấu means to make a mark. So we add a mark to a vowel in these particular positions in order to denote an added tone. How we draw the dấu actually describes quite well how it should sound. We're going to combine everything we've learnt so far as we go through each dấu. The examples will be rapid so you get a feel for the tone. You can slow down the video if you want to appreciate each word, but that's not the main teaching point. Dấu sắc. Dấu sắc has a rising pitch. The way you draw it tells you how it should sound. Here are some examples. Cá, rứt, rắn, né, ghế, mí, có, cố, vớ, thú, thứ. Dấu huyền. Dấu huyền has a falling pitch. Likewise, how it's drawn tells you how it should sound. Here are some examples. Cà, lần, rằng, nè, về, lì xì, bò, mồ, bờ, bù, trừ. Dấu nặng. Nặng means heavy. Dấu nặng has the sound of a suddenly dropped pitch. Here are some examples. Lạ, mật, mặt, mẹ, kệ, bị, họ, bộ, chợ, sự. These last two tones are dấu hỏi and dấu ngã. They sound quite similar to each other. Dấu hỏi sounds like a câu hỏi. It has a similar sound to the question mark intonation in English. It literally is a question mark but without the dot. Dấu hỏi can be thought of as dấu huyền followed by a dấu sắc. Here's an example. Mà á, mà á, mã. Ngã means to fall or topple, which is why dấu ngã looks like it's been pushed over. Dấu ngã can be thought of as a dấu nặng followed by a dấu sắc. Here's an example. Mã á, mã á, mã. As you can see, both dấu hỏi and dấu ngã ends up with the same pitch. With dấu hỏi, the sound is dragged out and transitions gently into a higher pitch. With dấu ngã, the sound is shorter, almost staccato-like. It drops down quickly to a low pitch before rising sharply. Because of how fast the pitch transitions, it produces an obvious inflection, making it sound like 2 syllables. Once again, mã, 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 mã. Here are some examples of dấu hỏi. Cả, ẩm, rẻ, để, kỹ, bỏ, cổ, mở, hũ, thử. And here are some examples of dấu ngã. Đã, sẽ, lễ, mỹ, rõ, mở, cũ, chữ. The dấu ngã, as I've taught it, is how it's pronounced with giọng Bắc, and I believe this to be the correct pronunciation. Giọng Nam does not differentiate at all between dấu hỏi and dấu ngã. That is, we pronounce the dấu ngã like a dấu hỏi. So I would say dấu ngã rather than dấu ngã. Finally, there's one extra tone. That's the flat pitch. In other words, không có dấu. Some call it dấu ngang. All the examples in lesson 2 on vowels have no dấu. So as you may already know, the 3 accents in Vietnam, giọng Bắc, giọng Trung, và giọng Nam, will have differences in how they pronounce their tones. With the exception of dấu ngã, I've been pronouncing the tones in this lesson with giọng Nam. In Australia, the differences between the 3 accents are quite minor, but I'll discuss further about this topic in another video. Moving forward, I'll be sticking with the giọng Nam pronunciation of the tones, since that is natural for me. This concludes the lesson. Replay this as many times as you need to get a feel for the tones. Timestamps are provided below. Once you're comfortable with the name and the sound of each dấu, then you're ready to move on to the next video. Please share it if you found this video helpful. Next lesson, we will go through how to sound out words. See you then!